So you've heard the words, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, NFTs, they're everywhere. It can sound super complex, maybe even a little intimidating. But you know what? The main idea behind it all is actually way simpler than you think. In this explainer, we're going to break it all down together. Let's just dive right in.
I want to start with just one big, powerful question. What if money didn't need a bank? Seriously, what if you could send money, or any kind of value, to anyone, anywhere in the world directly, with no middleman? That single idea? That's the revolution at the very heart of cryptocurrency.
Okay, first things first, let's tackle the really big question. What is this stuff? What is digital money, really? To get it, we've got to think a little bit beyond the cash in our wallets and the cards we tap every day. At its core, cryptocurrency is exactly what it sounds like, digital money. But the real secret sauce here is that word cryptography. Now, that's just a fancy way of saying it uses incredibly powerful computer code to lock down and secure every single transaction. This makes it almost impossible to fake or counterfeit. That security, that's the bedrock of this entire system.
And this right here, this is the fundamental difference. Think about traditional money. It's centralized. It's issued by governments, it's controlled by banks. But crypto? It's the total opposite. There's no central boss, no one's in charge. It's managed by a huge network of users all around the world. In one word, it's decentralized. And that one word, well, that's the key to everything.
Okay, so you're probably thinking, if there's no bank, what stops people from just, making up money or spending the same dollar twice? Great question. And that's where the technology behind it all comes in. So let's take a quick peek under the hood at the engine that makes this whole thing run. Don't worry, we'll keep it simple.
The magic word you've probably heard is blockchain. Now, forget all the super complex diagrams for a second. The absolute easiest way to think about it is like this. It's a shared digital notebook. Everyone on the network has a copy of this notebook. Every time a transaction happens, a new line gets written in it. And because literally everyone has a copy, it's pretty much impossible for one person to cheat and go back to change something. It's public, it's permanent.
So how does a transaction even get into that notebook? Well, it's basically 3 steps. First, you start the transaction from your digital wallet. Then, this global network of computers all jumps in to verify that it's legit. And once it's verified, your transaction gets bundled into a new block and is permanently chained to all the other blocks before it. See? Blockchain. It's right there in the name.
Now, we mentioned a digital wallet. It's where you store your crypto, sure, but the single most important thing it holds is your private key. And listen, this is not just a password. It is the only proof that you own your funds. It's absolutely critical that you keep it safe and secret, and we'll see why in a bit.
All right, so now that we kind of get how it all works, let's look at what's actually out there. It's really easy to lump crypto into one big bucket, but it's a massive ecosystem. Different coins are designed to do totally different jobs. So let's take a quick tour of the big ones.
And of course, we have to start with the original, the one that kicked this whole thing off back in 2009, Bitcoin. You've definitely heard of it, but what's its actual purpose?
Bitcoin's #1 job is to be a reliable store of value. And here's why. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin in existence. That's it. It's designed to be scarce, kind of like a precious metal. That's exactly why you'll always hear people call it digital gold. Its main point is just to hold value and send it anywhere in the world.
Next up, we've got the second biggest player, Ethereum. And if Bitcoin is like digital gold, well, Ethereum is playing a totally different game. It's a whole other level of ambition.
See, Ethereum is way more than just money. It's better to think of it as a global programmable computer that anyone can use. Developers can actually build applications called dApps right on top of its blockchain. So when you hear about crazy stuff like NFTs, digital art, or something called decentralized finance, that's the world that's being built on Ethereum. It's a platform for creating new things.
Now for a completely different kind of crypto, stablecoins. And as you can probably guess from the name, they're designed to solve one of the biggest headaches in the entire crypto world.
If you know one thing about Bitcoin or Ethereum, it's probably that their prices go on a wild roller coaster ride. Well, stablecoins are the exact opposite. They are built to hold a steady value, usually by being tied or pegged one-to-one with something like the US dollar. Their purpose is super simple: be a safe place to park your money without all the crazy price swings.
Beyond the big two, there's a whole new wave of blockchains that have emerged, and they're all trying to improve on the original recipe by focusing on one thing in particular: raw speed.
So these newer projects, like Solana, for example, are all about performance. They are built to be incredibly fast and really, really cheap to use. We're talking about handling thousands of transactions every single second. And that kind of speed is absolutely essential for things like super fast trading or complicated online games where every millisecond counts.
So, we've covered what crypto is and how it works. But the real question is, why does any of this matter? In this last section, we're going to look at some of the amazing real-world applications, but also, and this is just as important, the very serious risks you have to know about.
One of the clearest and most powerful uses for crypto is sending money across borders. Think about it. What used to take days and cost you a chunk in fees can now happen in minutes for just a few pennies. I mean, that has huge implications for how global business and families work.
But, and this is a huge but, for every amazing upside, there is a serious downside. And the most famous risk, of course, is volatility. Prices can swing wildly, up or down in a single day. This means, yeah, you can make a lot of money, but you can also lose a lot of money very, very fast.
Another massive application is this thing called decentralized finance, or DeFi. Imagine being able to borrow money or lend it out and earn interest, all through automated computer programs, instead of having to go through a bank. That's what DeFi is. It's like a whole new parallel financial system being built from the ground up.
And here's the other really big risk factor. The crypto world is still kind of the Wild West. It's new, it's not fully regulated, and that makes it a perfect breeding ground for scams. But even more important, remember that private key we talked about? If you lose it, your crypto is gone. Forever. There is no customer support line to call. There is no forgot my password button. It's just gone.
Okay, so let's just quickly recap the big points. Crypto is digital money that lives on a public ledger called a blockchain. Its most important feature is that it's decentralized. Nobody is in charge. Different coins have different jobs, from digital gold to a world computer, and while it opens the door to some powerful new ideas, it absolutely comes with very serious risks.
Which really leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? We are watching a brand new technology unfold in real time. Is this the actual foundation for the future of finance and the internet? Or is it just a really fascinating but ultimately temporary grand experiment? The final chapter isn't written yet, but now you have the tools to follow the story as it develops.